All right, Clayton, we're rolling. So whenever you're ready.
All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for February 19th. It's a Monday. I'm Clayton. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Wow, I'm Pat. Clayton, you seemed a little off there, and I'm going to let this man critique how the opening went.
What happened?
Here he is, the guest, the man, he's in the Six Timers Club, the only guest who's ever had a best of episode of his own. Kirk Minihane's here. Kirk, go to town on that opening that Clayton just tried. What's going on?
I don't. What happened, Clayton? I mean, I was elegant, but it was a curveball.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I do think it was elegant. I think I was able to, really sort of keep that from being a fumble until Pat sort of knocked it out of my arm from behind, which is not what a co-host should do, but I guess that's what he's doing tonight.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's great radio. Everyone knows that if the host just agreed on everything, if the host didn't point out the other one's flaws, then it gets boring. You get canceled. This is what keeps us high in the ratings book. So, Kirk, we got a lot to go over. This was a 6-day weekend.
Yeah,
that's what happened here. Have you ever experienced a 6-day weekend? Did you guys have a 6-day weekend at your show here?
No. We had. I was in Chicago last week. We had a pretty quiet 6-day weekend. But yeah, when I was there, one of the guys there said, "Hey, do you want to go see this movie?" And I thought, "Geez, we didn't get to see it." That was, of course, Madam Web. But yeah, geez, that feels like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, long 6 days.
Long 6 days. Well, you know what? And how was Chicago? I heard you were playing basketball. You had a lot going on.
Hanging out with the bros, broing out, going to college basketball games. Very bro.
Nice.
Extremely macho, like very, very macho weekend. Crazy.
Did you guys decide on a babe of the week? I mean, you're together all week. There had to be a babe that was decided upon.
I mean, look, like I said before, and it ties in this week, I'm too old. I'm soon to be 50. Like everybody, it's Sydney Sweeney. Sometimes it's just when I was younger, I'm trying to think like 87, 88, pre-Julia Roberts. I'm trying to think who had the crown.
Right. Bo Derek.
Yeah, Bo Derek handed it off to somebody. Even TV people back then were big. So now, but we're right in the middle of Sydney Sweeney's. Like if somebody tweets a picture of her, then everybody does like the pictures of somebody fainting after getting, hosed down. I saw somebody, there was a picture of the other day and somebody said if she farted in the car, they would roll up the windows. Like that kind of thing.
Right.
It's just her time right now. So, let her have it.
Right. Well, you know what? She had a new movie come out this weekend and we got to get to it. So Clayton, can you give us a plow for this 6-day weekend that I guess started on Valentine's Day, February 14th? So let's see how you handle this one. A 6-day plow. This is going to be interesting.
He'll be fine.
Thank you, Kirk.
Sure, of course.
Number 1, Bob Marley, One Love, made $27.7 million in the 3-day, and it made a total of $45.5 million in the 5-day, because we are not at the 6-day yet, because it is not Monday. Number 2, Madam Web made $15.1 million, and it now stands at $23.3 million in its first weekend. Number 3, Argyle made $4.7 million, down 24%. It added 42 theaters. It's at $36.4 million in its third weekend of release. Number 4, Migration, holding strong, $3.7 million, plus 28%. It lost 229 theaters. It's at $114.8 million in its 9th weekend. Number 5, a newbie we didn't talk about, The Chosen, season 4, episodes 4 to 6, made $3.4 million in the 3-day weekend, and then made 4.2 altogether in its first weekend. Number 6, Wonka, made $3.4 million, up 11%. It lost 417 theaters. I had to double look at that. $209.8 million in its 10th weekend. Number 7, The Beekeeper, made $3.2 million, down 4%. It lost 500 theaters. It's at $59 million in its 6th weekend. Number 8, Anyone But You, made $2.4 million, down 9%. It lost 785 theaters. It's at 84.7 in its 9th weekend of release. Ooh, oofa. Number 9, Lisa Frankenstein, $2 million, down 45%. It lost one theater. It's at $7.6 million in its second weekend. And the newbie at number 10, Land of Bad,
Mm-hmm.
distributed by The Avenue, made $1.8 million. And I guess it was just a weekend release because it made $1.8 million total this weekend. So that is your top 10.
Wow. Kirk,
Yes.
had you ever heard of, before Clayton said the words just now, Land of Bad? Have you heard of this movie?
Well, I think yes, because Russell Crowe's in it, right? Is it that film?
It's Russell Crowe and two non-Chris Hemsworths.
Correct. Yeah. I just saw it over the weekend. I saw it listed somewhere. I don't think I had heard of it till this week. No, I hadn't. And it's, again, if we were doing this podcast 24 years ago, Russell Crowe was the biggest star in the world, maybe.
Yep.
22, whatever. And now he's, doesn't even have to put on weight to play Roger Ailes, and is in these movies. And it's just shows you how fleeting this can be,
Yeah.
He had to lose weight to play Roger Ailes.
I think he did.
Yeah.
So it's very, I saw that. So 1.8 million for that. The one question I have is, on Valentine's Day weekend, why were the most theater losses? Why was the greatest theater loss Anyone But You?
Yeah, that's curious because they actually put out the Valentine's Day, a release edition, not this weekend, but last weekend, right? So I think they were trying to get a jump on it. Of course, it had the 4 to 5 minutes of hardcore pornography. We haven't seen it, so we don't know exactly what happened, but
very graphic.
Very graphic. And I think that, we thought it would get a bigger bump. Obviously, it was a small drop for how many theaters it lost, but it didn't really compete with these other movies. I do think it's run its course. 100 is not going to happen. No. But I mean, listen, downstream, this is perfect for them. This is going to eat on PVOD and then Netflix.
Yeah.
For sure.
It'll be eating up there. Have you seen Anyone But You, Kirk?
I have not seen Anyone But You yet. No, I have not. It's not. Again, I just feel old now when I'm seeing these. I don't. Feels like watching my kids doing this. I don't. And Glenn Powell, for me, I'm not feeling it yet. I'm not
really.
I'm not there yet. I don't. Put it this way. I think you could put 20 different guys in that role, and it would make the same amount of money as it has. This is a Sydney Sweeney movie.
Wow. Okay.
It is.
I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps him to have been in it.
You put my guy Chuckles Melton in there, Chucky Melton. It does the same amount of money.
You think Chuckles Melton next to Sydney Sweeney does the same
now
thing?
Finally, with an age-appropriate person, there's no hot dogs really. Things are back to normal. Nobody has a list. I think you can give me 10 people in that Glenn Powell. I mean, for sure. Jesus, I'm blanking on his name. Miles
Teller. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Exact same amount of money. Yeah.
When you were watching the big game a couple of weeks ago, and the Twisters trailer hit with Glenn Powell, what did that do for you? Did you feel, or do you feel Twisters is going to be a big deal in the summer, or are you more okay?
But again, nothing against Glenn. Glenn Powell's fine, but Twisters, you put other people in it. I'm pretty sure that Glenn Powell had nothing to do with the box office of Top Gun Maverick. He's going to be in Top Gun 3, I'm sure. I haven't seen the Linklater movie, to be fair. I heard he's pretty good in it. But I haven't seen him on his own. Listen, my lawyer bit. I don't want to break it out again. It's fine. But Glenn Powell is a standalone star. I'm not there yet. Sydney Sweeney in the right role. Clearly we're off to the races here.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this with Scott Mendelson. We brought up the lawyer bit. We gave you credit. Scott now knows it's the Kirk Minihane lawyer test. And Sydney Sweeney was the one I think we all kind of settled on. You get her in a lawyer suit, and that movie is guaranteed 75 million domestic.
Absolutely.
Wow. So Glenn, I do agree that Maverick had nothing to do with Glenn Powell because at that point, he had been in a few things. I mean, he was in a Netflix rom-com. That was his biggest claim to fame. He was in Everybody Wants Some. I really liked him in that movie.
That was a good movie. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
But I mean, obviously that was more of an ensemble piece. And I don't think he stood out in the way where I was like, that's a star. I will say that Twisters is going to be a test because, like many people have said, we've seen the White House get destroyed. We've seen planets get destroyed. We've seen every city get destroyed. It's going to take people wanting to see Glenn Powell watch 2 tornadoes than them just wanting to watch 2 tornadoes, right? So, like, I do think the special effects that has something to do with it, but it's really going to come down to, do people want to watch him watch tornadoes?
Well,
and I think they do, to be honest.
Well, yeah, sure, but I would say that Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt were not movie stars. Like the stars of those movies are never the star. You know what I mean? The star is the special effects, right? I mean,
right. I mean, the star was the cow. Let's be honest.
Star was yes, and Jamie Gertz. Like those are the stars of the movie. So, but yeah, I mean, look, like I could be totally wrong, but I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about. Whenever I see anything about that movie, it's all Sydney Sweeney. But I think he's a pretty good actor. Like we'll see. My mind is open.
Yeah. Well, I just want to go a couple of quick hits before we get to the 2 new openers. Lisa Frankenstein. What was the buzz on Lisa Frankenstein around Barstool? Again, you were with the bros all week.
Oof.
Was anyone talking Lisa Frankenstein?
Those words were never said. My daughter is now 17, and she's got like a little bit of like the emo thing, and she likes the kid from Big Daddy. So I mean, like I thought Cole Sprouse, and I thought, well, we might have a. I threw it out there, and it was zero. Nothing. Wow. I do think I didn't see the movie. It feels like the kind of movie like 8 years from now, people will have that reevaluating moment on Twitter where it's actually pretty good. I don't know why. It just feels like that kind of movie.
Right. They'll start to say like Lisa Frankenstein actually was speaking to what the culture was in
movie
2024.
Of the, but I mean, nobody has gone to see it. Jesus.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. It does that have any effect on Beetlejuice, Tim Burton movie coming out next December? Do we feel like that this is not a bad omen for Beetlejuice?
No, because Beetlejuice is an IP and it's got Jenna.
Right.
Jenna Ortega.
We've been corrected on that. Yes, it is.
Oh,
Jenna.
right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Right.
As we should be, because we were getting her name wrong.
We were getting her name. And she's a big movie star. Yeah.
Yes. And a writer. She writes. I mean, listen, she punches up scripts.
Yeah. Every episode of Wednesday, she rewrites. The Beekeeper. Have you seen The Beekeeper, Kirk?
Saw The Beekeeper. Really like The Beekeeper. Good time. Fun. Not surprised at all that it's. I heard Mendelsohn say this. Some of it was on. I heard Mendelsohn on 2 shows. I heard Mendelsohn on your show, and I heard him on with Matt Bellany, who hates Barstool, but that's fine. He said there was.
He hates us too.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Fuck him then.
Yeah. Thank you.
But he gives Scott Mendelsohn a paycheck, so we gotta respect that.
Yes,
on
that. Yeah, and he likes, he loves to go see Finding Nemo by himself, which is fine. Whatever. We're all adults, not judging.
Yeah.
But that this was the biggest non-Meg movie of his career, like standalone starring role.
Yes.
For Statham, which is like a nice little, January, February hit that's going to do probably like 75, 80 million. It's at 60 now. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
it is at 60 million domestic. So it'll get to probably like high 60s domestic, which for him is great. Is huge.
That was pretty good. Like it was, I expected like good dumb movie. I had a good time.
Yeah, we said it. He's had a run that at this point has gotten past your Jean-Claude Van Damme's, your Seagals, your, those 80s stars who aren't Stallone or Schwarzenegger. I think he's pretty much surpassed all of them.
Oh, longevity-wise, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
So let's get into the 2 big new movies. I think let's start with what might be officially the death knell of the superhero movies. Madam Web came out this weekend. So you said you almost saw it, Kirk. So how did it go from almost to not seeing it? Paint a picture of how you almost went to Madam Web with the bros.
Well, my friend at Barstool, Jeff D. Lowe, who hosts a movie podcast, Lights Camera Barstool for a long time, huge movie guy, said, let's go see it. It looks so bad that we have to see it. But then he wound up getting tickets for the UConn basketball game. I mean, bros before movies, we're balling out,
Right,
so,
right. You're balling all week. Yeah.
Front row seats at the UConn game, coaches recognizing us, fist bumps, doing this thing, a lot of this. So
did you guys end up on the Tron? Did you guys, Jeff D. Lowe, Kirk Minihane?
I don't think so, but a lot of pictures, it was just, it's exhausting, but at the same time, it's part of the business. You got to get out there and shake. You guys know better than anybody. You shake their ass.
Of course. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I'm interrupted on Paris vacations by cyclists. So I get
people
it.
are tackling you on a bicycle. Like, this is
Right.
not easy. It's like American
Right.
flyers. So when we didn't get the chance to do it, but it's so bad. Did you guys see it? You saw it, right?
We were going to see it, and then we didn't see it. And it really came down to there was issues with the AMC app, changing times, overlapping with another time, and then it got to a point where it's not worth it.
When do we get the screen? When do we get the screener stage for you guys? When do you stop going with the? We're not there yet.
We haven't put any effort into trying to get it, but I agree. The fact that we're, listen, we like to mix it up with the common people once in a while.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not at the movies. At the grocery store, sure.
Sure, right.
But not at the movie theater.
But you're right. This is, again, some movie will come out in the next couple of years and they'll make a fortune. But the end is, you can smell, the smell of death is now just overwhelming when these movies, just one turd after another gets rolled out with no hope. No hope of being good. No hope of being seen. Everything I'm hearing about this is just nonsensical. It's just like they just said, fuck it in the middle of it and just gave up.
Yeah. Well, it feels like, we talked about it when we were making predictions for Valentine's Date movies. It feels like these superhero movies have gotten to the point where you can't be seen at them. If you're going to a theater, how do you say, I'm going to go to Madam Web, tell a date, tell a friend, tell a coworker, that's what I am going to do this weekend. That's what I did. I mean, these movies, I think, feel like they've just got a scarlet letter on them if you're going to them.
Because I don't think you can win either way if you're doing it as, I actually want to see this and I'm interested in it. That's a red flag. But then also if you're like, I'm going to just see this for shits because it's bad, that also is sort of not a thing you want to do with a date.
Right.
Because the date's going to be like, oh, is it this guy, the bad movie guy? I don't want to be with the bad movie guy or girl or person.
Right. Yeah. Girl could be with anyone. So this movie, it like you said, Kirk, it had that lead up where there was no hope for this. You go back even to something like The Flash in June, which is less than a year ago. There were hope that movie was going to open at
Jeff Bach,
100 million. Jeff Bach,
he was half man, half hype.
Yeah, Jeff Bach had it at the biggest movie. Tom Cruise said it was the best movie he's ever seen.
Yeah,
and now we're less than a year later, 8 months later, and something like Madam Web comes out, and a month out, it's totally DOA.
Well, I was thinking this. I want to ask you guys this earlier. I was thinking of this. I did my show tonight. Took a quick break. Got Subway.
Right.
Was sitting in Subway by myself, reading my book, which is just a book I found at the used bookstore. It's just a description of each number one adult contemporary Billboard song of the 1980s. I love lists. So I'm just happily reading the book like a loser.
Right.
And I thought, gee, what would the guys say, like, if Madam Web came out, the exact same movie, exact same cast, in 2019, what does it open at?
Oh, so 2019?
2019.
70?
That movie has to open at least
50,
70 or 80. I think it has to do over 75 million. Something like Venom is opening to 90, right?
Right.
Back then.
Right.
So at least 60 in a 3-day, at least.
Right. I saw Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage with Harry opening night. And it was dumb, but it was fun. Like, this does not seem like it's even that. It just seems like I don't know. I'm not even hearing that from people.
Well, I mean, listen, this movie is no particular person's fault, but Dakota Johnson, I've heard a lot of people talk about how much they loved her press tour and how, all her press tour was making fun of the movie and but I gotta say, it's her job to promote the movie. And that press tour was just taking the piss out of a movie that hadn't come out yet, or trying to pretend that she's above it. And not that hurt the movie, but I don't know if it's a great idea for the star of a movie that hasn't come out yet to basically be saying, I'm with you on how bad this is going to be.
You can't read the script, agree to do it, get paid, and then be surprised if it's shit. Like, return the money. It's kind of like I was saying, my show earlier tonight came up. Robert Downey Jr. just won the BAFTA supporting actor.
Yes.
I'm a little sick of his, like, oh, I had to play this guy Tony for 12. Like, well, you fucking got paid $500 million for that, and you were dead before it. You were dead. Yeah. And then that led to Sherlock Holmes, which you agreed to do. And you agreed to do Doolittle and The Judge. Like, all of a sudden, you're like, I was rescued by Christopher Nolan. Well, you took the money. You took like, give all the money back. Give it. I hate that. Like, everyone's like, oh, Dakota Johnson's a queen. She doesn't even know the name of the movie. It's like, well, that's like pretty shitty. Like, you made a deal. I presume she got paid, I don't know, whatever, $8 million, $4 million, $12 million.
Right.
Like, does the movie stink? Sure. Did she read the script and say yes? I'm pretty sure she did.
But it really shows how the tide has turned, because you remember when Gwyneth Paltrow got tons of flack for when she did not remember she was in a Marvel movie. Because the way they shoot the Marvel movies, she's just not sure where her scenes are going to go. And she honestly just didn't know. And she wasn't taking a piss and she wasn't having a laugh. She was just confused. And people lambasted her and started, saying goop this and pussy candles this and whatever they wanted to say about her. Right. Now, he's a king, she's a queen for saying terrible things about superhero movies. And that is just really showing where the culture has moved and how I think Robert Downey Jr., and I've said this on the show, he's making it okay to say bad things about these movies now. And the floodgates are open. So if you're stuck in a contract on a superhero movie, it is free reign to say that this thing is going to be terrible. And that is bad, I think, for theatrical, because then you have, you have lame duck movies coming out, right? What if Pedro Pascal is like, yeah, I got this dumb 60s FF movie coming out. That's going to be terrible. And then, I don't think he'd do it. He seems like a classy guy. But that's possible. It's all possible now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Kraven the Hunter coming out in the fall. And that is the next movie from this non-Spider-Man universe in the Sony MCU. That movie is completely dead. Completely.
No,
there is no
chance. None.
But, like, that is a movie that could open up single digits opening weekend by the time we get to it. Does Aaron Taylor Johnson, so he's the guy who played Kick-Ass, he's playing Kraven. At this point, his press tour has to top Dakota Johnson's, right? He has to shit on a poster. He has to G.G. Allen a poster of Kraven when he's promoting this movie, right? I mean, I think that is just the precedent that's been set, is you cannot go out there and say, come see my movie, it's going to be great. He's got piss and shit on images of the film in the press tour.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. Like, I'm not a massive fan. Like, my son really likes them. I'm not a huge fan of these things. I'll be curious. I imagine it'll then turn around in a few years, but maybe it's just dead. I mean, the run has been crazy.
Right.
Maybe we're just done. Like, I mean, Deadpool will make a lot of money if they bring back whatever. They said the end of Guardians that Chris Pratt's not done, so they'll do something with him. And the next Spider-Man with Tom Holland will make a ton of money. But like original kind of new stuff, it's just not happening. It's not happening.
We'll get back to because we got to talk more Madam Web, but you did mention Deadpool and Wolverine, which is Deadpool 3.
Right.
And that is a movie that I am saying, you've heard because you listen,
every
that
week?
I think it is going to bomb. And by bomb, I mean it's going to bomb like a superhero movie bombs, like how Aquaman second movie went from being $1 billion baby for the first one, and now it's making half that. Deadpool is going to have lower returns this time. And I've been taken to task and lambasted for this because it was the most watched trailer and all these different things. And it's like, yeah, just because somebody is going to click on a vid and watch a trailer doesn't mean they're going to go see the movie necessarily. And it's a long time until that movie comes out. These sort of failures only compound people's disinterest in these things. Madam Web doing poorly, anything that comes out in between now and Deadpool that makes superheroes not cool anymore is going to diminish Deadpool. So I don't think that it's a slam dunk that movie is going to be huge.
I think it will. You could be right. I think it will just because people like that franchise. And it's one of those movies I think's gotten more popular as more younger people watch it. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll do pretty well. Like, Spider-Man made a ton of money after the Eternals, which stunk. Like, I think movies can stink and then the other ones will do great. Will it make as much as the last Deadpool? I don't know. But I actually think that one will be successful. But the point is, like, they keep, like, Robert Downey Jr. is dumping all over Tony Stark right now. Does anybody think that he's not going to play Tony Stark again in his life? Like, these guys always come back and play these characters, like, every single time. At some point, they're going to throw tons of money at that original group, and they're going to make a movie. They'll make a lot of money, but that's not going to solve the core problem, which is that you have to develop young stars, and they just can't do it. It's sort of like a conundrum like wrestling's had for a long time. Like, oh, let's bring The Rock back. Let's bring back. So when I heard The Rock was coming back, I presumed it was against you guys, given your feud with him. Mm-hmm. That felt like a WrestleMania night. Nothing against you guys yet. That still feels like a night one WrestleMania. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could sell me on night two. But like, it's sort of the same thing where they can't develop these young. Nobody wanted to see Brie Larson on her own. Nobody wanted to see this thing. Nobody wanted to. So like, great, you can do Guardians 3. It's going to make a bazillion dollars, but like, that doesn't solve the real problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then when you have Downey just basically saying that he was kidnapped, he was miserable for 10 years, he was at his lowest point, He
was like Brie Larson in Room, really. Like, basically, that was it.
Right. That they had it, that Nolan had to sneak him out in a rug.
Right,
get him out of the MCU.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Nolan, Kevin Feige would like give him a bologna sandwich once in a while, but he would turn off the power if he was bad. And right, he had to find a way to escape.
Yeah, but now, don't want to spoil it, but if we all remember the end of Room, what happens? She ends up back in Room. She has to go visit Room. Right. And I think you're right. Downey will go back to Room at some point. Mm-hmm. And, like her character didn't get a big check to visit Room. It's more of an emotional thing, but Downey will get a big check to revisit Room. I think right now, because Clayton and I saw that quote, it just blew our minds when we saw what he said about playing Tony Stark. I think he's on the Oscar trail. He wants to lock down this Oscar. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like this is him making sure there's not a Norbit situation. Remember how Norbit cost Eddie Murphy the Oscar? We're like, Tony Stark is almost Downey's Norbit now, where he doesn't want the voters to see him, iron suit, fat suit. It's all the same. And I think he's just trying to be like, hey, that's not me. I'm the actor guy. So give me the Oscar. Don't worry about my Norbit.
I think he's giving attention to something that doesn't, like, I don't think anybody thinks of that. Like, they're just like, oh, he's good in the movie. I mean, Doolittle is way worse. I mean, that's something most people wouldn't recover from, but
yeah.
And for him, because it's already, I mean, listen, maybe it's not in the bag, but it feels like it's in the bag for him, definitely. The Oscar. So he really is just, it could also be a ploy to get paid more. Well, like, that also could be his ploy, where he's like, I'm going to keep talking this mess until you pay me $1 billion to come back.
Right.
Like, honestly, because, and then he can get it down, they'll get it down to like 700 million or whatever. I mean, that also could be the ploy. I will stop talking trash if you write that huge check.
Right. At this point, they might have to pay Downey just to stop making fun of their movies. Never mind be in the movie.
And that's my big thing with the Deadpool Wolverine, is that, say I'm wrong, or reality doesn't match up with my expectations. I'm not going to say I'd be wrong. That's what I'm going to say.
Right.
And this thing is huge. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is it's going to get huge off of the fact that it is goofing on superhero movies. So that will then be the last movie you can make, because everything after it is going to seem so stupid. If they do a great job with this movie and really ridicule the multiverse and all the inane, dumb characters they pulled out of the woodwork to put in movies, and they do that with Deadpool and Wolverine, then you have nowhere to go. You have no place to go as the MCU. And that is the problem with this movie, is if it's a huge success, then it's going to destroy the Marvel Universe.
Do we think Dakota Johnson appears in Deadpool 3 to
Ironically,
make fun of Madam Web? Like Deadpool asked her, "Hey, could you name all the Madam Webs?" You know, he
yeah,
asked
and
her
then
that
maybe she does a
question.
thing. Maybe she does a thing with Ellen again during it, where Ellen invites
Oh,
she's
yeah.
invited out to the birthday party, and then
Yes.
she's. I
I
could see
didn't
that.
meet
Yeah,
you.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Don Johnson, maybe. Yeah, it's all
Yep,
in play.
that's the scene is Deadpool asks Madam Web, "How come you didn't come to my birthday party?" And then Madam
You
Web
didn't
says,
invite me.
"You
Right.
didn't invite
Yes,
me."
I'd watch
That's
that.
the scene.
Yeah, yeah, I'd watch
That's
that.
the scene. Yeah, they got to do it. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. So, Sydney Sweeney, does she get hurt at all by this Madam Web opening?
Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. Nope. Anyone, this bought her a bunch of time, and I think, like, yeah, she's not the star of it. I don't think anybody's killing her for it. No, this is not a big deal at all.
You know,
Yeah, when
we
she
were arguing, Clayton, go for it.
yeah. No, well, I was just gonna say when she ate the wings,
Mhm.
right? As you do at that level, she ate the
Absolutely.
wings. And I'll be honest with you,
Mhm.
I like her, but I was not impressed with that showing. I mean, not the wing eating was fine, but there just wasn't that specialness that some of those episodes have.
Well, you saw that
But
She
meme
didn't
everywhere,
vomit.
though. That picture of her was everywhere, where she was looking up, and I mean, it was all
that's
over the place.
great.
Yeah,
So that's enough. That's enough.
right.
But the thing with that is that people are not gonna think she was promoting Madam Web when she ate the wings. They're
No.
gonna think she was promoting
Yeah,
Anyone But You with the
definitely.
extra 4 to 5 minutes of hardcore pornography, and
Mhm.
that's how it will be remembered. So Madam Web will not affect her at all. They'll be like, "She ate the wings for that movie that turned into a porno."
Right.
That is what they're gonna remember.
Yeah. Eh, Last week, Clayton and I were arguing about whether the marketing was hiding or teasing that she was in spandex latex in this movie.
I heard this.
Turns out, now neither of us have seen the film, but I've read recaps. The superheroes aren't even in Madam Web. They're basically only superheroes in flash forward quick
Right.
glimpses. So Sydney
Mhm.
Sweeney, her character actually doesn't end up being a superhero in this film.
Mhm.
So I think she's 100% clear because this isn't even a movie where people didn't go, even though Sydney Sweeney would be in a superhero costume. She wasn't. She was
Right.
not in it. She gets no flack at all for this
Absolutely.
failure.
Totally safe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean that flash of her in the Spider-Woman costume will now go down in history as like probably something people will look at and think, "Oh, did she go to a Halloween party and dress like Spider-Woman? That's cool." And they're not going to remember that it was part of a terrible movie.
right.
I had a question for Clayton, if I might, real quick.
Of course, I
So
love it.
he's been doing this thing about how he was able to spot that these things were musicals, right? Whether it was Mean Girls or was there another one or no? Was it just Mean Girls?
I spotted that was a musical, and then I spotted that she was in
Right,
a
right.
costume
But your
Right,
Mean
in
which I
the
didn't
Girls,
spot.
trailer.
but your Mean Girls tell was that people were singing along to something quickly in the trailer, right?
They were dancing in unison,
Right.
and they were mouthing words to songs, and you only do that in a musical, and there
Well,
were several scenes like
I
that.
thought about this running in Chicago by the river. I thought of one that it was not a musical.
Okay.
By that rationale, and I know this is ridiculous, the trailer for Top Gun Maverick would suggest a musical because Miles Teller is playing the piano and everyone is singing along.
I love that theory, Kirk.
Yep,
I
yep.
love that.
I'm
But
just saying.
that's one scene.
Gotcha. I got
So
you.
so the thing was and if it was just one scene, like
Multiple scenes.
yeah, because if it was just them dressed as the like Santa girls
Mhm.
dancing, that's part of the original movie, and they are singing, but it's them by the lockers, and there's different lighting, and they're doing choreographed moves, and they're throwing their stuff in the air. Those are different
Gotcha.
scenes, and so
Gotcha.
that
Yeah, I feel
is
stupid now.
why
Now I
no,
feel
you
dumb.
don't. No,
Oh,
that's
it's dumb.
no, but
Well,
I
they
think that
to be fair, they all were in naval costumes. Like they were dressed sort of the way you would be if it were a musical.
And Tom Cruise was looking sad outside. He wanted to
Yeah.
be part of it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and then he would have walked off and sang his lonely song.
Right.
Um,
That's true. You need a second song. You need a second song.
Well, so now with this rationale,
Mhm.
Kirk, how much would Maverick have lost, do you think, if it turned out to be a
That would
musical?
have
I
been a
mean,
wild
because
move. If it was just a
right,
flat out full musical. I would by the way, I'm one of the few people who didn't love Top Gun Maverick. I might have liked it
okay,
more. Um, it opens big still, and then it
okay,
just
Mhm.
dies. Maybe it makes 280 million domestic.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it loses almost. It loses
I mean, if it's
like
a good
half of
musical,
its domestic.
maybe if it's a good I don't know if it's well done.
Well,
Right,
what if
but-
Tina Fey's husband wrote the music?
Well, then we'd be in trouble. That's not a good book. As we say, it's not a good book. That would not be a good book.
Not a good
Yeah.
book.
No, not
If
a good
it's
book.
Lin-Manuel Miranda writing,
Could be.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Then
his
maybe
unused Moana songs for Maverick.
right. Tom Cruise in musicals has not been great so far.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
That's right. Yeah,
of
the
Love.
idea was, yeah. I Rock of Love killed the idea that's a Top Gun sequel. It ever
Rock
be
of
a
Ages?
musical.
Rock of Love? Are you guys right?
Rock of Ages. You're right.
Rock of
Rock
Ages,
of Love is the Poison guys, Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels.
That was his
That's
dating show.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Well, talking about musicians,
There you go.
Love
One Love Bob Marley was the #1 movie at the box office this weekend. So it made in the 5-day 45 million. The estimate for the 6-day, so if you include Monday, it gets over 60 million. It's being estimated it'll get to 61 million by the end of Monday. I mean, this is a huge win. It opened in the 3-day bigger than the Rocket Man, bigger than the Elton John movie. Almost as much as Elvis did with Tom Hanks. That opened to like 31, and the 3-day this opens to 25. So it is clear Bob Marley is a big star, big IP. Kirk, what did Bob Marley mean to you in your college days? Were you did you have him plastered all over the dorm
I did
wall?
not. I did not. But when I was in prep school for my 1 year, Jackson Hall and Ryan Block lived together at the end of the hall, and they were Bob Marley guys, and you could smell it, all the way. So you get in there, and the posters would be there, and I shot the shit, all that stuff, and reggae is just not my thing. Bob Marley was big. Everyone had that greatest hits CD, the cover of everyone had that.
Legend,
correct. So, yes, everyone had that, but I didn't think, and I guess I was just wrong. I did not think that he had that cultural connection generationally, that people are going to go see it to this total. I mean, the trailer looks terrible. The reviews are terrible. Like it was an enormous opening. I was stunned when I saw the first projections. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's he is just a huge IP, and you had a couple
you guys
of.
Think he was though? Did you?
I didn't know. That was my big question mark, because I knew for us, me and you, Kirk, Gen X,
Gen X,
that
Gen X,
that
yeah.
no, that's
sad
not true.
when I was sad when Cobain died.
No, you were sad when My Chemical Romance broke up. But I think the thing is that I wasn't sure if there was still that love there, right? So reality did not match up with my expectations, because this is generational. Let's just do demos really fast here. So 35 to 44, 22%. 18 to 24, 21%. 25 to 34, 17%. And 45 to 54, 16%. And over 55, 14%. So this played to all generations. Demographic, multicultural, 37% Caucasian, 31% Black, 25% Latino Hispanic, and 3% other. Now, I mean, these demos are outstanding. Like, this is a movie for everyone, and I did not expect that.
There's only one way that it could have been for everybody even more, is I think if it was called Bob Marley and Me, and he had a dog where he kind of had like a...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the dog dies at the end, but he actually lives. But Bob Marley lives on and makes like a song about the dog at the end in concert.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Bob Marley dies, but his spirit goes into the dog.
Into the dog for the sequel. More Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only thing that was missing really, was the dog, I thought. Yeah.
Part 2 would be Marley Is Me.
Marley Is Me. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barking on or something. Who knows? I'm spitballing here, but yeah.
Right. I mean, the thing is, they got to think.
It's a new era, Bud.
It's a new era, but
Bud now is a double meaning with the Bob Marley crowd. Like everything's tying in together.
Yes. I mean, they got to figure out how to make the sequel. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody, giant hit. There's no sequel there. Rocket Man, I think, did well, but that wasn't going to necessarily need a sequel. But they got to figure out how to continue this Bob Marley IP, because
the Ziggy Marley movie is not as exciting, I don't think.
It's not. No.
I'm just not feeling it. And
Yeah.
when does, I always wonder too, I was thinking of this too. Elton John hit, Elvis hit, even like
Mhm.
yesterday, kind of a hit. Like who's like, I saw, my guys, the Bee Gees,
Okay.
Ridley Scott's making a movie about them. Those are my guys. Barry Gibb I've said it before, Barry Gibb's a better songwriter than Paul McCartney. Stand by
Love
that
it.
all day long.
Mhm.
Is that going to be, is there a Bee Gees appetite? That's not going to be a hit, right? I mean, what's the
tough.
line?
It's tough with the Bee Gees because there already is a movie that is all of the Bee Gees music that
Yeah,
exists.
well, right.
But you know what? That movie is, had a rape in a car in it, so that
It's
they
true.
might
It's
now
true.
have a
It's
movie
true.
that doesn't have
Right.
that, and that'll play
So,
to a
yeah.
bigger audience.
Sure.
But
I always forget how bad of a date movie that is.
yeah,
Is Saturday Night Fever, and I'm always like, oh, because I remember I watched it with a young lady. This was years ago, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh, it's dancing, women like
Right.
dancing and sexy. It's New York in the 70s, and then I'm like, oh, that's right. Everybody in this movie is a total scumbag.
Right.
yeah,
The accused, you know what you get.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
right.
It's right there in the title. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah. This was a little more nuanced. But so I
yeah,
don't know. Like obviously my favorite artist, not obviously you guys, is Bruce Springsteen. I've
of
seen the
course.
concert overseas. But is there a Bruce Springsteen movie?
I
They
mean,
tried to
I
make,
was gonna throw
obviously they tried to make a couple of years ago. It sucked. But I'm saying like
yes.
with Bruce Springsteen in it, like as
right.
Elvis was or Bob Marley. I don't know. I don't know what the line is. Billy Joel, Daryl Hall. Like I don't know where the friggin' line is anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was gonna throw that at you. I do think they've got to be thinking about the Bruce Springsteen movie. I think if you're
Right.
him, you're gonna want to be there when it happens. He
Mhm.
doesn't want to be Bob Marley, who's watching from the clouds and seeing this opening weekend, and he
Sure.
can't take part of it. Bruce is gonna want to be there at the premiere.
Nice.
I do think that makes sense as a singular artist who's got, obviously there's a generation in particular that's going to be most into him, but I think he's kept his name out there. And although you're the Bruce Springsteen
Mhm.
expert,
Mhm.
is there a
The drama.
big, what is the drama? Like the music is there, the stardom is there. He
Lawsuit,
never
the
got
lawsuit in the
assassinated.
catalog. To my knowledge, has not been assassinated. No real dirt. Now that's always been the problem with Bruce. Is probably not
Right.
like. I mean, is Michael? So I mean, the Whitney Houston
Well,
movie tanked, right? So
mhm.
will the Michael Jackson movie be a huge hit?
Oh, the Michael
Probably
Jackson movie.
huge, right?
Yes. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. I
Right.
probably said it
Fuqua.
wrong. Fuqua, thank you. That is gonna be massive,
I
and the
agree. Yeah,
reason being is that those songs are so indelible.
I agree.
I mean, when you talk about Bob Marley, Bohemian Rhapsody, when you talk about Queen, the fact that those succeeded, they do have great songs that are played all the time. He is an artist that is played every second of every day since probably the 60s. I mean,
for sure.
right? I mean, there's somebody jamming out to Michael Jackson right now, somewhere.
Will
Multiple people.
Will Emmanuel Lewis play himself in that movie as he sits on his lap at the American Music Awards, or will they have a different actor play him? Do you think at this point?
It's a plum role for sure.
It's a good role. I don't.
It's a plum-sized role. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's listen, you're trying to make stars, and I think you've cast and you find a star to play
Sure.
Emmanuel Lewis, and you break
Sure.
someone big,
Right.
you break
Yeah.
someone small.
Mhm.
My big thing was I do think Bradley Cooper is going to reprise his role as the Elephant Man's Bones.
Oh,
He
right.
did it on
Sure.
he
Right.
did it
He
on
has those.
Broadway.
Yeah.
He will
Right.
do it. He will do it in the film. He's got to. It's his role
Mhm.
now. He owns
Yep.
it.
Right. That's
Yep.
fair. Yeah. And
Yeah. The monkey you got to cast. I agree. That movie, I think that's the one
huge. Huge.
that could be Bohemian Rhapsody numbers. That could do worldwide $800 million.
Because the thing with Bruce is that I do think it'll do really well in the heartland, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were saying, where are the controversies?
No, not enough drama.
He went LA. he broke up the E Street Band.
Couple of years.
He married a model, right, or an actress. I'm sorry, he married an actress.
Mhm.
He got pulled over on a bike after taking a shot.
Wasn't driving. Yeah,
wasn't driving. I mean,
whoever
this Jersey cop was. Oh my God, what is your fucking problem, buddy?
Ridiculous.
And things like that. Him writing 41 shots and the NYPD turning their back on him.
Very mad.
Right. So there's things, but there's not that big thing.
I agree.
Right?
Michael Jackson, there's just Michael Jackson, you have the dad. You have
you have all
the the whole breaking up with the brothers, the Victory Tour, all the other sordid stuff in his life, the Lisa Marie, the whole thing, the Katharine Hepburn, there's just Cate Blanchett reprised her role as Katharine Hepburn, who was a friend of Michael Jackson's.
I mean, this is her Joker. That would make it, that she comes back. I didn't even think, I totally forgot until you said it, that Michael Jackson was married to Lisa Marie Presley.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That is so far down the list of the big hooks to a Michael Jackson movie. That would be, listen, if Bruce Springsteen had married Lisa Marie Presley, that is what the movie of the Bruce Springsteen story is about. It would just
be that marriage, that 3-week marriage or something.
Yeah. You don't think Patti Scalfa is as interesting as Lisa Marie Presley?
I don't. I'm not a big fan of the voice. I would say no. Steve Van Zant's a friend of mine, so I'm going to leave him out of it. But I would say, didn't he make out with her at the MTV Music Awards or something?
Yes, that was a big one. Yeah, Michael made out with. It was Bruce didn't make out with Patti Scalfa.
I don't think so.
Michael Jackson made out with.
Correct.
Lisa Marie.
I beg your pardon. Yeah. Long way of saying, sure, Whitney Houston tanked. There's a couple of other ones, but this sort of let's put together a mediocre movie with family approval. Doesn't matter. These movies make a shitload of money. Rocket Man, which I thought was okay, whatever. Elvis, this now as well. This guy who directed the King Richard, right?
Yes.
So he's directed two basically family approved stamp of approval movies, and King Richard, no audience. This one, enormous. I would have never guessed this when they announced it. When I first saw the trailer, and it got pushed back. I was like, this is a dud. This is going to tank its first weekend.
Yeah, this was supposed to be MLK weekend.
Yes, they needed an extra month.
Correct.
Yeah, it really goes to show, because you heard a lot of the sniping in the months leading up to when the trailer dropped of, it's got all the walk hard cliches. That movie sort of burnt up all the music biopic cliches, and this is going to have them all. And it turns out people want those. People want Bob Marley to look out his car window and see a sheriff getting shot, and then come up on the spot with the lyrics, I shot the sheriff. And that's what people want. And that this movie apparently gives it to them, and that's what you got to do.
Oh yeah, he wants to see 3 little birds walking down the street and be like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah.
Light bulb over his head. They want that. It's comforting. It's like how superhero movies used to be comforting to people. This is something that is comforting, because they know, we're going to see someone write a song, not really how people write a song, but it's going to seem instantaneous and magical. And that's what people want to believe.
Right. Yeah. I liked when last year when that George Foreman trailer came out, and at the end of it, this manager talked to him. And he's like, we got an idea for you. It's a grill. And he was like, a grill. And then it was that. Then I was like, that's what I like in the trailer.
Yes, I love that
trailer. Yeah.
So, Kirk, I want to get your opinion, because it's coming up, I think, in less than a month now. We talked a little bit about it, the Oscars. It seems like the best picture race is pretty much done. Oppenheimer's going to win. It's not going to be an Oppenheimer and Barbie situation. I mean, Clayton and I, just looking at it as a telecast, I think our big problem with the Oscars is they didn't nominate Greta Gerwig for director, so that means Barbie has no chance to win, and so there's no drama there.
None.
I assume you're an Oscar guy because you're a movie guy.
Massive.
What are you looking forward to when it comes to this? Are you just looking forward to, I know you're a big Oppenheimer guy, so are you looking forward to just the coronation of Oppenheimer?
I'd like a little drama. I'm fine with, I think Paul Giamatti's going to win.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. I think Cillian Murphy's great, but I want to see Paul Giamatti win an Oscar. Sideways is like one of my, 7 or 8 favorite movies. So I'll be thrilled for him to win. He basically is playing Miles from Sideways again, just like a little different. Like he has weird eyes now. He's like a cranky academic guy.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. I asked this on my show last week. Who presents Best Picture this year?
I heard you talk about that, and I think someone just said it, and it didn't go anywhere. But someone mentioned Barbara Streisand.
I said that.
You did say and I think that is, she's got the book out, and I think she's trying to promote it in a classy way, and you got the whole female.
I'm sorry, she only does the big one. She gave, I know this stuff. She gave Eastwood his first Best Director for Unforgiven. She gave him Best Picture, I think, for $1 Million Baby. And then I think she gave Catherine Bigelow, when Catherine Bigelow won, she presented her because she said the time has come or whatever. So it's woman giving woman Best Director.
Yeah.
You're right. Barbara Streisand's not walking out there and giving Best Sound. She's not out there giving Best Documentary Short. So you're right. If she's there, if you see her walking that or whatever, it's Best Picture.
That's the thing. You got it. Yeah. Once you see her day up anywhere near the Kodak Theater, or even in public at that point, she's probably not going out that day other than to go to the Oscars. So if you see her on the street,
or James Brolin on the street, then I think you have an idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I thought Hanks, maybe it's the anniversary of Forrest Gump this year. Is like they're starting to like these. Well, if you remember a couple of years ago, they did a very weird 28th anniversary of Pulp Fiction, which was very strange. But I like anniversaries and reunions. Like I like when they put the Godfather thing. Now, unfortunately, it was right after the Will Smith slap. But like I like when they pair people together for movies.
Yes,
I'm into that. So if you want to do that for De Niro and Pacino, something like that for best picture, I'm in.
Could you? I know you mentioned since it's probably going to be Oppenheimer, will they find someone connected to him? So I just couldn't think of anyone who's a big enough star. Like
Caine?
Christian.
No,
who was that?
Michael Caine. He's a little older, like kind of a farewell, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know the state of Michael Caine. I don't know if
I don't know if it's him. So I don't know. Yeah, Christian Bale. Is Christian Bale big enough?
That's what
Best Picture.
I don't think so.
No,
I think even if you had him and McConaughey together, that's not quite big enough for Best Picture.
Damon's in there. Forget it. Yeah, good.
The dream that I have before both of these gentlemen pass, and before I pass, frankly, because who knows who's going to outlive who?
Sure.
Yeah,
would be Jack Nicholson, Gene Hackman,
my favorite actor of all time,
together giving out Best Picture. It has to happen soon, or it won't happen at all. And I would love to see that.
How about Clint and Gene Hackman together? Unforgiven, maybe a reunion there.
Hackman. I mean, listen.
Hackman's
I'm a Nicholson guy. Hackman is the greatest, and I do think he probably has no interest in it. He's writing, isn't he? Doesn't he write mystery novels or something?
He writes like westerns, like inside the he's got weird titles like the Indio Express and stuff. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, so he's living his best life.
But Clayton, he's also 94. Think if you had a 94-year-old in your life.
Yeah,
you'd just be worried if the guy can, just get to the couch and watch TV all day.
I mean, Warren Beatty's not that old, and he screwed up at the top, at the biggest moment. So but Hackman, I think, would nail it. I do think Hackman would nail it. But yeah, Clint with Hackman. I mean, just get Hackman out there at some point. I just want to see him again.
I think it's going to be Denzel. That's my pick.
That's a good one.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can see that.
He's definitely a big enough star, standalone, Best Picture.
Yeah.
So that's my pick. But yeah, there's no. The drama is, I mean, look, supporting actor is locked in. Supporting actress might be the biggest lock of all.
Yep.
Actress, I think there's a battle there, between Emma Stone, Lily Gladstone. That's kind of it for like the Nolan's a lock. Like there's not a lot of one of the Barbie songs is going to win.
Yeah.
Who's last in the In Memoriam? Who gets the big?
Oh, so this is our big. When we have our Oscar party, this was the bet that I ran.
Love to be there.
Yeah. Who is last at the In Memoriam? And I'd have to look at who died this year.
Yes,
I really have to do research. But so like we would do, because the way they do it is they start out big. You got to start big. So that could be the one you pick is the big one. And then there's a big pop in the middle. So you're going to have a big pop in the middle, and then you're going to have a big one at the end.
The big ones, yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I if I had a list of names, I could probably throw some
We have
out.
that
So
power.
I'm looking at a few right now. Tom Sizemore. Do we think Tom Sizemore has
I don't
any
think I
chance
like
No,
of
he's
being last?
He'll
no,
make
he's
it. He'll make it.
he'll make it. But he's too divisive in the sense of like I
Yeah.
think people had a hard time working with him at certain points.
How about my guy? I got his autograph right here.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers.
You
There's a
know,
chance? No.
You know, I think
Probably
Carr
not last.
Weathers.
Probably not
I
last.
think Carr Weathers is the middle, like
Yeah, the
big
bridge.
pop. Yeah,
Right.
like he's that. Like you did some of the cinematographers, you did some of the casting people, and
Some
then Carl
directors.
Weathers shows up,
Mhm.
and you're like, whoa, everybody's freaking out.
Right.
He's the
Carl
middle.
Weather. Yeah, he would have needed to die in that sweet spot of like 2 weeks before the Oscars. So like before they edit the montage.
Gotcha.
But at a point where his death is going to feel so resonant to
I know
people who are
that
watching
obviously
on that day.
much better known for TV, both these guys, but
Yep.
Matthew Perry, Andre
Mhm.
Braugher. I mean, not but
Yeah.
Matthew Perry feels big.
Here's my
Do you
prediction.
show him in Fools Rush In as the clip? That's a thing.
That's a tough. That's
No, it's going to be the whole 9 yards.
sure.
But here's my
The
pick.
Turner of the show from Mad Max. Yep, go ahead.
I think Matthew Perry makes it.
Mhm.
Andre Braugher gets snubbed.
He won't make it at
And-
all.
No, people
For
will talk
glory?
about how he got snubbed. Yes.
Oh no, I gotta be honest with you. I think they're gonna be very careful not to snub Andre Braugher.
Yeah.
It just
I
feels
think
like
it's gonna. I think it'll happen. They've
Oof.
done it to. They've done it
that's a
to
disgrace.
bigger people. Yeah.
I actually could see them snubbing Matthew Perry knowingly just for the social media
outrage?
buzz afterwards.
Oh.
The outrage. Yeah.
Is Ryan O'Neal a big enough name?
I
be
think
the
so.
last-
Yeah.
To be-
Not to be last, but he's a big
Somebody's
one.
gonna be last. This wasn't like I don't want to jinx anything. It's still time, but there's not
Right.
a Sidney Portier this year. There's not a
Right.
And Ryan O'Neal is part of a lineage, so they love the lineage.
That's true.
So
Oscar,
he
yeah.
is he could be last.
Right.
Is there any below the line people we're not thinking of, like big below the line?
Any big directors? No, like a Mike Nichols level. I don't think so. Jim Brown died in the last year. Could Jim
He did?
Brown? Yeah, Jim Brown, Paul Rubens. Okay. I'm going to throw that out there as my pick.
Is last?
You end with Pee Wee.
You don't have a Pee Wee.
feel
Aging
You
Mr.
finally,
Herman.
and here,
I
Now,
got
you
I- I-
finally
I
give
think
Pee Wee his redemption in a theater.
I think
the
I got it.
Kodak Theater changes
think-
the theater association.
Wait, Kirk's
for
got
Pee
it. Kirk's got
I
it.
think I have it. Yeah, again, not the biggest star, but think of movie history.
Yeah.
Wee. Uh-huh.
William Friedkin.
Oh, that's
there
a
you
great
go.
one. That's a
Yep.
great one. It either starts with William Friedkin or
Right.
it ends with William Friedkin.
I think
love
so. I think so. I mean, again, I hope it doesn't. I hope there's any more. There's a bunch of like TV, like Suzanne Summers was obviously in American Graffiti, but like will
Yeah.
they show Tina Turner was in Mad? Like, will they show?
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, well, they probably not. I don't.
I
know.
Suzanne
think-
Summer gets snubbed.
I like this. I like the snub. I like the Andre Braugher snub.
Yeah. I'd put money on that snub. I don't want it to happen though,
No.
because I love Andre Braugher. I mean, obviously, like you said, Glory. I mean, and
I feel like he was just in something.
but
like
Homicide.
an Oscar miss a couple. Was he in She Said? Am I making that up? I think he was. But like
Andre Brower was.
oh
Yeah,
yes.
Yes,
was
Andre
Ben
Brower. He
Brown.
actually had the best scene or so in there.
No, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
He got to yell at Harvey over the phone. Yeah.
I feel like he's going to make it. I think he won't be snubbed just because there's plenty of room. It doesn't feel like there's any big stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big TV here. I'm looking at like Richard Mole, who played Bull on
Bull?
Night Court.
Yeah.
Adam Rich, The Kid Is Eight Is Enough. I mean, it feels like the Emmy one. Matthew Perry. It feels like it's bigger than that, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't see the Emmy, so.
I mean, here's the thing. Old Hollywood stars, you've got a couple of weeks left. The
Yep.
final spot is up for grabs.
And all the names
You
you
know?
mentioned, I mean, it's I talk about this all the time because I'm getting old, but like all of these guys I worshiped,
Mhm.
Ackman, Eastwood, Redford, Hoffman, maybe Hoffman wouldn't be last, but Beatty, these guys are all Nicholson. These guys are all still Pacino, De
Mhm.
Niro. these guys are all Duvall. They're all still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all over 85. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible in the worst sort of scenario that we could have a year akin to the year where we lost Prince and we lost Tom Petty in the music industry, right? Like that year where we lost so many great musicians. There could be a year, and I don't want this to happen, where
Right.
we lose several of these huge names, which would be devastating, but also impossible to make this bet. Because
Okay.
it'd be like if Pacino and De Niro
Ugh.
and Hackman die in the same year, who do you? I mean, what do you? I mean, it's Nicholson,
do
but I mean, maybe it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's Nicholson.
Prince,
I think.
by the way, Prince is another guy that feels like that could be a huge movie. Just a lot
Yes.
going on there.
Yes.
A lot going on there. He feels like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Oscars in a month, and I think honestly that is the most interesting part going into it is who's gonna close the in memoriam, and who's gonna present.
I know you guys talked about this, but this like these guys just have no vision. Like whatever you think of Barbie, whatever you think of Leo, to not nominate these people for a television show it should just be like mandated. Like we're not like all due respect to whoever got nominated, Sterling K. Brown or whoever, or I don't know, America for whoever. Like you need Leo probably be there anyway, but you need these people nominated in the mix. Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Greta Gerwig, not being it's just insanity. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, that's our big argument. I mean, Pat, you go, because this is
Well, no, just not having the nomination set up so it's Barbie versus Oppenheimer at the Oscars.
Part 2.0. Like it's no like I much prefer Oppenheimer, but I mean, you look at these no other movie, and again, like I've said this, William Goldman, one of the greatest writers of all time, would always say this. Why don't they release the ballots when it's done? What are we fucking doing here? Like, how many votes did Emma Stone finish behind Lily Gladstone? Or how many votes did Poor Things finish behind? Or, how much did Nolan win by? Was it the biggest win ever? Who are we protecting at this point? I don't even understand. Like, why isn't this released to the public?
Right.
Because it also can't affect future things because none of the scenarios are ever going to be the same, really.
Correct.
Because even if the same actresses are up for the same awards, it's going to be different films. So it's not going to make a difference. You're not going to look at Emma Stone losing by 3 votes and be like, oh, well, it looks like, next time she's going to lose by 3 points again. That's just impossible. So it would be so much more interesting if they did that. And obviously, R.I.P. William Goldman, great man. He had been saying that forever.
Yeah.
And it's even truer now.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I mean, you have to put their names on them. I don't even care about that. I just want to see just show me the totals. I'd be interested. What if it was 3 votes? What if it was 3?
That'd be amazing.
Not going to happen. So instead, but in terms of it's just going to be an Oppenheimer route. It's a question of how many they win, and some drama and actress, and that's really Jimmy Kimmel, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
and then that's going to be it.
And I think again, you run a show, we run a show. We run our shows for maximum drama. And if you want to have drama, you need to have and Margot, fine. If she doesn't get it, I understand that. But Greta not getting nominated totally eliminates the ability for this to have as much drama as it could. Because if you had both those directors nominated and both their movies nominated, and then you had a bunch of the other actors nominated, right? So, I mean, Ryan's there, America's there. So there's a bunch of nominations for Barbie. It's Barbenheimer split. They're now enemies. They were friends and now they're enemies. There's nothing more dramatic than that. And they're not playing that to the hilt. And it's frustrating because do you want this show to be a streaming only thing? Do you want it to be a series of tweets? Do you want it to be several TikToks? Or do you want it to be a nationally televised show that people are chomping at the bit to watch live, which is the only thing keeping broadcast television going is live events, sports and such. And the fact that they just don't take that into account is mind-boggling.
And I want Billy Crystal dressed up like Barbie, singing the Oppenheimer song.
Exactly.
Give me instead of Jimmy Kimmel, who's going to be, buying hamburgers a couple of years ago. I don't need that stuff. Like where's my old Oscars? 50 million people watching. It's over.
Yes.
It's over.
Get Billy Crystal back in the Hannibal Lecter mask. We say it all the time.
Let's do it one more time.
Wheel him out.
Every year. Let's do it every year. It never gets old.
It never gets old.
Yeah.
When he came in, did he come in riding a dinosaur the Jurassic Park year? I mean,
he came in riding a horse definitely one year.
Oh, of course, he rode the horse.
He was promoting City Slickers, which is
I don't think he was. I don't think he was on a dinosaur in a year.
Yeah,
to my knowledge,
he was riding a horse.
Yeah.
Kirk, will you be doing a post-Oscars episode of the Kirk Minihane Show? Will you guys go live that night after the Oscars?
I'll go live. The problem is, I'm surrounded by people who don't give a shit about one of my producers thought Glenn Close was a man the other day. So I mean, this is we went over Glenn Close's filmography, and he thought The Big Chill was a movie about a professor in 1982 who was battling climate change, and that there was a big chill coming to the town. They had to get the people out of the town.
Okay.
It was actually a better plot than The Big Chill, but still, he had never seen the Glenn Close film. He did not know who Kevin Kline was. He wasn't
He's
sure.
never seen Albert Nobbs.
He's never seen Albert Nobbs. Did not see The Wife. You know, did not know who Kevin Costner was, basically. He never seen a Kevin Costner film.
That seems impossible. That
right. My argument is like
Kevin Costner.
And he says, "Oh, I'm 30." Well, I'm like, okay. So when I was 30, that would be like saying, have you ever seen a Robert Redford film? Or have you ever seen, a Dustin have you ever seen Midnight Cowboy? Or but these people, and I'm getting to this point now where this next generation is not going to watch something for 2.5 hours. Like Harry Minihane does not know who Robert Redford is, but he knows who PewDiePie is very, very, very much. He knows who Annoying Orange is. If Annoying Orange and PewDiePie remade All the President's Men, he'd see it opening day weekend.
Right.
Which they should do with it. And like you guys always say, they should do the Paul brothers should do All the President's Men. Logan and Jake.
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
Just have them redo the movie.
So for your 30-year-old producer, if Robert Redford had a channel where he watched video games on Twitch, he would know who Robert Redford was.
Yes, he'd be the old guy who watched video games all the time. He'd be a star. He'd have he'd have like 50 million followers on YouTube, and he'd be playing video games all the time.
So he knows more things that Andy Milonakis has done than Kevin Costner has done.
I don't even know who that is. See, I'm the other side. I don't even know what Andy Milonakis is.
He's actually like a little bit older, but he hangs out with Simon Rex. They had a rap duo, fake rap duo, but he's big on Twitch.
Right.
So the kids might know Milonakis more than they know Costner. He's a legacy. He's like a guy that was in legitimate Hollywood and then started doing Twitch. So he's probably a big deal.
I think I've told you guys this before. When I tried to get Harry to watch Midnight Run, which is one of my favorite movies.
It's a spectacular movie.
Perfect. But like for a young kid, and he's like, who's in it? Charles Grodin doesn't know who that is. Who else is in it? Robert De Niro. I don't know who that is. Tell me something he's in. No. Then finally it dawned on me. Harry, do you remember The War with Grandpa? Which of course is a famous B.O. Boys movie.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God, that's the guy. And I said, Harry, not only that, Christopher Walken who's in it. They were in a different movie together about 40 years before. So
he hadn't seen The Deer Hunter.
No, he's not. We've reenacted it a few times, but he's not. Yeah, but it's just like that's good old fashioned family holiday.
Yeah,
fun.
he just thinks that's daddy time. Yeah,
exactly. We'll do that 4 or 5 times a year just to stay fresh. But he thinks Robert De Niro is the guy from The War with Grandpa, and that's kind of where movies are in my life now with my son and my producers who are just as stupid. I mean, they might as well be 6 years old. They don't know. They couldn't tell you. I went through They knew The Natural was a baseball movie. They'd never seen it. He's never seen Goodfellas. He's never seen The Godfather. So it's like, I don't know. What do you do with that information? I find that, I know you guys find that maddening, but we're dinosaurs, I guess. We're like, Billy Crystal might as well ride us on the freaking stage at the Dorothy Chandler.
I mean, it would be a great way to open the Oscars.
I'd be fine with that.
I do think the one you mentioned, how that people are not going to be watching these movies that are not overlong, but longer than, or slower. It's not really long because movies are long. Like superhero movies are long.
True.
But they're not necessarily slow.
Right.
But I do think the Godfather movies are going to be 1 and 2 are going to be movies that sort of become like Casablanca or Gone with the Wind to a young generation because they move so slow. And I mean, Goodfellas is going to end up being like the slowest movie that anybody can watch in like that sort of genre. But I do think the Godfather movies, if you even try to get like a 35-year-old to watch The Godfather, they'd probably be on their phone.
I think 2 is even slower that way. I
Yeah.
think you're probably right. Yeah.
My wife has still not seen a Godfather movie, and she watched all of this series about the making of the Godfather with me, but has not seen the Godfather
Paramount
movie.
one with Miles Teller.
Yeah, but has
Yeah.
not seen the actual movie. Someday.
That makes sense.
So Kirk, what do you have coming up on the Kirk Minihane show? What could the Wanna Be-O Boys, Wanna Be-O Girls, Wanna Be-O people look forward to?
Well, I did a show tonight, Sunday. We're on here Monday. And then I'm actually taking my daughter. Her and I are going south for the week to go look at colleges. She's a junior in high school, so we're making a trip down south. I've tried that. We have a bunch of free nights. You know, it's kind of like when Tony Soprano went to Maine. Like,
Yes.
Am I going to kill somebody? Not part of the conversation. It doesn't matter.
But there's a lot of radio partners of yours that could pop up along the way.
I see them. We have a bunch of nights, and like one of these nights, I'd like to corral her to go see Madam Web or even Lisa Frank, just to go see a movie in Tennessee or something in the mall. Like almost, just to see what the regular people are doing.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Yeah, I'm happy to give a report. Then we come back, the show. We have a live show in Maine next month in Portland at the end of March. But I'm just kind of doing the show, plugging along. We've had a busy few weeks, so it's quieting down a little bit, which is nice. A lot of the fan base is kind of worked up right now, but we're fine. Everything will be fine. We're good.
Yeah.
Now, Kirk, you also have another show you're doing. Do you want to mention this other show, this unnamed show?
Oh, I do have an unnamed show. That's right. Thank you, Clay. Once a week, I host a show with my friend Ryan Whitney at Barstool Sports, and then my boss David Portnoy. The three of us have a show like this where it's just three guys just breaking balls, just breaking balls. Story of the week, that kind of thing. First 2 episodes have done really well. We're having a good time. So, yep, that's every Thursday, and you can find it. I think it's on Portnoy's YouTube channel, right? Is that right? Yeah, I'm getting the thumbs up from my guys. So, yeah.
You are able to have guests, correct?
We have had guests on so far. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yep. Nope. Yeah.
Right.
All is good. Yes.
Very, very exciting stuff. So, of course, for us, emails theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at the BO Boys Pod. Want to be a senior intern Christopher doing a great job with the vertical videos. And Kirk,
I'm sorry. One final. How many people are in the Six Timers Club? Do we know?
I haven't checked. I would say the only one who's even possible at this point is Mendelsohn. I don't think Bach has gotten there. I don't think Danny of I Screen, You Scream 4, number 4 movies. Right. I don't think he's gotten to 6 yet.
Can I give a mild criticism? Final thing, mild criticism. More. You guys are pros, so I don't want to. I'm a wannabe old boy.
Yeah.
But when you go through a mailbag and somebody asks you about the box office appeal of, was it Anna? Am I saying, is that right? Last week?
Jodie Comer?
Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer, yes.
It's okay to just say that's a stupid fucking question. Like nobody's going to the movies. You guys are very nice people, but don't be afraid to be occasionally dismissive of a stupid question, which was a stupid question. Not a box office trial. Am I wrong?
So no. Yeah, you don't think she's an international superstar?
I'm driving in my car listening to that, saying, "Guys, why are we doing this to each other?" Like,
but what about the box office for her one-woman show?
That's right. That's a good point. I didn't factor that. But I'm looking forward to be a 7. Anytime you guys want to have me on, I am thrilled to be on. It's my favorite podcast. You guys know that.
Only guest who's gotten a best of DVD release. So there you go.
Nice, yeah. It's nice to have one.
So, and also just wanted to bring up, Wannabe senior intern Christopher is currently out there looking for a summer internship. So he's taking the feelers. So I'm just putting it out there.
Does he live he lives in Manhattan?
So he goes to Penn State. He said New York would be, the number one choice, of course, coastal lead, of course.
Sure,
but he is open to other cities.
Listen, anytime. And no kidding aside, if he needs me to reach out to people at Barstool in New York, I can certainly try and do that.
All right. Well, there we go. So the bidding war has begun for Christopher's summer internship services. And of course, Wannabe junior intern Jack killing on the Substack, and watch us on YouTube, So if you're just listening, you're not getting the full experience, seeing the three of us, seeing Clayton's dark sunglasses this whole time. So you got to watch the BO Boys on YouTube. And Clayton, I think we've done it. I think there's nothing else to say.
I can't imagine.
That's
I can't imagine anything
No.
else.
No, nothing.
Except for until next time.
We'll smell you.